Hello and welcome to another video. So this video is about how to spot the signs of somebody who is genuine and someone who is not. Now, I've just had a revelation that there's a well-known YouTuber who perceives to be very happy-go-lucky and very much a family-oriented person, and that, she won't say boo to a goose. And yeah, I've just discovered that they aren't actually as happy-go-lucky as what I thought. Now, is this a trait of somebody that's pretending to be genuine and not? Yes, it is, because they will get narky or they will, they've said that they've never received any negativity. And I think people who perceive to be somebody else are very good at disguising their real, true form. Now, I would say hand on heart, I am, someone who is a working mum, who's had a lot thrown at her through her life, but I see things from other people's perspective as well as my own, and I do believe that if you're going to be, I like to know where I stand with people, and I like to know if they are genuine or not. And if they don't genuinely like me, it's like, don't waste my time, because I feel that people who do disguise their true form, in the sense that they're not as nice as what they come across, then, they become a time waster, because they're making you think that they are just like a young girl who has struggled in her life and now wants to, communicate to other people. Yet that they've lied a lot and they've perceived to be genuine when they've not. And I do think that eventually the cracks will form. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I've had my demons. I've been there, and I've been jealous at times, begrudging, and I'm like, I ask myself, do I want to see people happy, or do I want to see people be sad? And for me, no, I want to see people be happy. I do not want to see people being sad. I don't want to see people starving to death. I don't want to see people being abused and bullied just because they like to do something different compared to what people perceive as the norm. Because everybody's got their own perception of what the word normality means. The same as being perfect, same as success. Now, I do see myself as someone who is successful, because I am now working for myself as a writer and a content creator, and soon I'm going to be doing performing again, like I was when I was working at a holiday camp. And even that I kept to myself, because I didn't want to share it to everybody in case it got judged, because I've been around judgmental people who just want to have a pop at somebody else when they haven't got the guts to look at themselves in the mirror and admit to themselves that they are becoming a problem. Because people can cause problems. I used to think, I remember arguing with my nan, and she was absolutely right. That, I used to think, well, they're just people, if people are insulting you, it's just words. And I'll throw them answer. But then, seeing it now, she's right. It does hurt people's feelings, because people will try and manipulate and tear you down, because they are not admitting to themselves that they are the problem, but they pass it on to you, so you feel the hatred like they do, But the difference between someone who's genuine is that they will address their negativity, whereas people who perceive to be nice, they won't. And it's only when you meet them in person, or you speak to them in person, that you come to realise who they really are. And I did a video a couple of videos ago about knowing who you are and how I like to live. You know, because it's something I want to share, you know, because I think people need to stop shaming, because a lot of that is happening a lot. Now, I'm not saying, you know, there's a lot of people that was moaning about Instagram, that there was a lot of pictures of, you know, people's very clean kitchens and very, you know, of their, you know, healthy lifestyle, which makes, you know, people feel inadequate. But looking at it now and addressing that, I thought, right, well, you know what I want to do? I looked in my living room and my kitchen, and I thought, well, my house, even though it was all laundry out that I'd washed, you know, and that was drying, because I air dry a lot of my clothes rather than tumble dry, because it does save you money by doing that, even though I do love having a tumble dry, gotta say. That I thought, right, what I'm going to do is take a picture of my home as it stands now, to show that, no, actually, you know, yeah, okay, this is real. I haven't got a sparkling looking living room or kitchen. No, here's the real deal. And, you know, and now I've seen that a lot of other people, you know, are doing the same, you know, because I feel there's a lot of meal shaming now as well, like, you know, because there is, you know, a lot of people have found the benefit of vegan food. Now, I will never knock that, because it, you know, it can work for a lot of people being vegan, and I can understand, because certain meats can affect your digestive system, but it all depends on the person. And I've tried to go to like gluten-free myself and vegan, but I haven't found any change as such. So for me it doesn't work, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work for somebody else. You know, you have to try and test these things. And I did a video about, you know, do I follow trends? No, I don't, but I follow information. You know, I will look at different workouts that perhaps I could try, you know. I mean, last few days I've been promised to work out and I haven't, but I did quite a bit of working out last week. Now, I did a workout on Monday, so, you know, even if that's the only workout I do this week, I know I've done a workout, you know. So I haven't let myself go that much, but I've still got, you know, my weekend starts from Monday to Sunday. Lots of people, their weeks start from Saturday to Friday, or some people split it in the week, like I used to at some point, but it was like from Wednesday to Tuesday, you know. It's all what works for you, and, you know, you can always tell people who are genuine when they are a lot more, like, flexible, you know. And I suppose that I don't follow the rules all the time when it comes to YouTube videos, because I do like the videos where it's not all completely edited, but, you know, it's you know, because you can't have videos too long, because then people will be like, you know, I like videos where, you know, I do like the day in life videos, because obviously they will be a lot longer because it's somebody sharing the day, but I like the fact that they don't mind admitting that today they're struggling, you know. Not that I want to see people struggling, but, you know, it's like people being real. And I think that now people are starting to see that, you know, a clean kitchen isn't exactly saying, look at me, look at my clean kitchen. It's saying, look, you know, I'm not always clean and tidy, and this is how I can get it clean and tidy. You know, a lot of people were having pop-up people using tips by Mrs. Hinch, but she did something, because she was not a cleaner. She was not a fully organised person, but she knew that because the way she was living, she needed to change. And in order to do that, she needed to realise that she needed to get on board with sorting out her life, and by doing that, sorting out her home. Because I do think that you do need to make, even though I'm not a big love of cleaning, it's the last on my list, I do at some point get it done. you know, and I'm on the mindset that I'm very flexible at that. I don't clean every week, but I do get it done, you know. And that's the difference between someone who's genuine to someone who says, right, I do it every Tuesday, you know, and then they don't really, they do it in the morning, but they've perceived it to be the evening, you know. But you can always tell. Now, I like Ebony Norris, and I also like my new favourite is the Sunday Stylist. I love her videos. She is a single mum now. She has 2 boys, and she posts once or twice a week, mainly for sharing things like her Monday, and that's fine because that's how she works. And she doesn't say, because I do this, you do this, but it's showing her how she does it, which could possibly help somebody else, you know. Everybody lives in a different way of a different mindset. But if you want to make changes, you have to be positive, but also you have to be around, and you have to be genuinely a person who is not afraid to admit when they've, you know, had a struggling day. And you get people like and I've had it where your friends who have, it's always been about them, and then as soon as you tell them your problems, they interrupt every 5 minutes. They still want to hear their voice and not yours, and that's how you can tell a genuine person, because they're happy to listen to themselves, but then when it comes to other people, they don't want to know, you know. And that's why I like the Sunday Stylist. I like him. I love Jordan Page. I think she is definitely a business guru in terms of finance, you know, having a family. She doesn't shun over the, you know, the cracks. She always talks about her and her husband, who they did have marriage counselling, because people want to. It's not that people want to be nosy. People just want to see other people, you know, they live their life, and if they can interpret their good habits that they perform into their life and see if it works for them, you know. Now, I've talked about compulsive copying, and that's another thing which you can find is not genuine. Now, I found Jordan Page by a video that she did about, it was a video about how she managed her finances, and how she realised that she was, at one point, you know, they were strapped for cash, and she was like, right, we need to sort this out, you know. And I think people who share things like finance are people that have actually gone through not having that much money to now managing their finances. And I'm in that place now where I don't have to worry about money. Yeah, I'm, you know, in some way, when I say that, it's then put against me by people not being genuine. And this is why I want to talk about it, because, you know, for years I thought that them people that were in my life were genuine, you know, because they are very good at shining over their real trait. And I like people to be real. You know, if you're not a nice person, then fine, don't disguise it. You know, just, I'm not saying that you should be tagging people from YouTube, but basically, you know, just don't bring other people down because of it, or don't shine over at making out you're nice when you're not, because people want to see people who are real, not fake. And I like to see, if people are nice and genuine, I would like to see them to be nice and genuine. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't, you know, we should all be happy, you know, like everybody. You can't like everybody, and you need to also get to grips with not everybody's gonna like you. Now, I've always been one of those people where people have liked me or they've not liked me, and I used to have a real problem with that as a kid. I thought, why? No, I want to be like everybody, but you come to realise when you get older that you can't please everybody. You know, you can't please everybody, but you can be. There are real, genuine people, but it's the people that perceive to be genuine that give those who are a bad name. But they will start stripping down who they really are, you know, by, you know, it's a lot to do with body image, and, you know, also to do with, like, me, and I get lots of suggestions from videos, and I really am enjoying that. I like people giving me tips and information, but other people, you know when they're genuine, because when you give them a tip, they will then attack, you know, as if like, what are you telling me that for, you know, or, you know, oh, look at what you're doing then, you know, why do you think you need to give me any tips and advice? And it's like, well, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it, you know, and a lot of that is to do with, I think, because they're disguising their insecurity, you know, and I see that because I haven't always been nice, you know, to people. You know, there was one guy at Butlins that I was really rude to, and I got a rain check, a really good, it was like he shone a light in my eye, because I didn't realise how rude I was being to him. And it was because I couldn't understand what he was saying, and I thought, if I say yes and I don't know what he's just asked me, I could end up being in a situation I don't want to be in. But I didn't tell him that. I just was being very abrupt with him, and I didn't realise until he gave me a good dressing down, and he did, and I thought, well, bloody hell, you know what I mean? Okay, I should not have done that, and you do need to sometimes be given a dress down to know that you're starting to be negative towards people as well, you know. And so it does, you know, I learned from my mistakes where people who are not genuine won't. They just will keep trying to cover over it, you know. But little bits here and there will start to creep in through, you know. You know, because I mean, for me, the other trait is, you know, eye contact. Now, I sometimes find it hard to make eye contact, not because I'm hiding anything, but because in case I see in their eyes that they're not a genuine person, and sometimes I don't want to see the bad side of somebody, you know. And when they do, I'll give an example. So, I'll be careful here, but it involved a family member, and we were having a lovely evening. We'd be going to pub, and then we went to a kind of like restaurant pub where they were having a pub quiz, which we joined into, and then we went into another pub where I ordered a cider, and then they asked me a question about football, and it was like something to do with whatever cup that happened, like in the 60s or something like that. And I was like, oh, and I couldn't guess, and then he said, oh, see, so you're never going to win, are you? And I was like, sorry, what do you mean win? I thought we were just having a laugh. And he went, so you know, and he basically saying, because he thought that I was making it like I knew it all, and it wasn't. It's just like, I like my football, I like talking about it, I like to give my opinion on it if people ask, but he, you know, he was doing it in a way that he was trying to get one over on me, and I'm thinking, why are you doing that for? You know, out of a sudden, it was just like, okay, well, I didn't see that coming. Why, you know, why are you being like that now? And that's where you can start to see the real person, you know, in somebody by the way they will just out of the blue attack, you know. But what I tend to do is that I will be like, well, then I'm just not going to bother with them, you know. That's how I deal with it. If people are not going to be genuine, then I'm not going to give them the time of day, you know, because I think that, you know, you're misleading your viewers and your audience, you know. And you're not, you know, people like comedians, for example, who are not afraid to talk about, you know, use things that they've experienced in their life to bring the humour into it, you know. It's like, you know, I had a Persian cat called Toby, and I called him, you know, Jaws with claws, or the piranha with fur, because he used to I used to feed my cat Toby, in the no, obviously in the kitchen. I'm not going to feed him in the living room, am I? I mean, should we count? Anyway, so I used to feed I'd come home from school and I would be like, sometimes I can never find him, and then I'll be like, where is he, you know, because he was tone deaf, so obviously there's no point me calling him because he can't hear. So I'll be like, where is he, you know, and I'll be searching around and thinking, where is he, because he would sometimes be inside a cupboard, or, you know, before then he once hid in the shopping trolley. So I'm thinking, where is he, you know, and then suddenly I would be looking, and then I'd feed him, you know, and he would jump on my shoulder, or he'd, you know, you're there. And it was kind of like he sensed that I was looking for him, because he'd be like, yeah, I'm here now, you know. And then I'd feed him, and then he would go into one, you know, and his eyes would bulge out, his ears would flick up, and of course I was target number one. And I'd ring my mum up and say, you know, he's starting again, he's attacking me again, and my mum would be like, oh, he's just playing, you know. And I'd be like, but I don't think he is, because whenever I feed him, he attacks me, you know. And you know, and oh, I forgot where I was going now. But yeah, you know, and you know, that's something I like to talk about, because even though we lived in a Peabody estate, and everybody used to say, because he used to sit in our kitchen window, they'd say, is that your cat? And I'd be like, well, yeah, he's in our house. You know, what do you think we did? Pick him up from the street and say, sit by the window, you know, in case people don't think you're ours, you know. And that they'd be like, oh, why does he sit by the kitchen window? Because he likes to see what's going on. You know, what else is he supposed to do, you know? And they'd be like, oh, what, you know, what's his name? It's Toby. And I said, yeah, and he's tone deaf. And they'd be like, deaf? Deaf cat? And they would like test it out to see if we were telling the truth or not, you know. You know, he just was a at the time I just thought I didn't know whether he thought that I was a cat as well, because he would, and when my parents, you know, would come home from work, he'd be as nice as pie. He'd be sitting on my lap purring, you know. I'd be happily being stroked while I was watching Neighbours, and as soon as I back turned, he would hit me with his paw, or you know, go to bite me or something. And it always seemed to be me, you know, and he never seemed to attack my brother or my mum like I wished. It would always be me, you know. And looking back and, you know, telling this to people said it's because he thought that you were his mum, you know. And I was like, oh, you know, so it's, you know, you can always tell somebody who's genuine when they talk about things in their life that are true, but they've made it comical, and they haven't shone over the cracks in their lives, you know, because people want to see people who are real, you know, like me then, I just lost my way. That's me, you know, I do that. I do have a bubble brain, as I call it. I have a scatter brain sometimes, because I can talk about something and I'll be like, what am I talking about? You know, so you know this is real, you know, and this is me. You know, I did have a deaf cat, you know, so you could call it what you liked, because, you know, it didn't make a difference. But, you know, he, you know, was someone that I always looked at, because it was very funny when he was, you know, our pet. And, you know, he would attack me every day after coming home from school, and I fed it, and I'd be like, what's in that cat food? You know, is it speed or something, you know? Because cats don't like tablets. You try to give a tablet to a cat, they either gob it out, and you have to do the thing now where you have to put it down their throat and sort of make sure that they got their mouths closed so they will swallow it. But honestly, trying to give a cat a tablet is like giving a bear a banana, you know. It's just, they just won't take any interest in it whatsoever. Or you put it in their food and they will know it's in there because they will eat around the food, you know. So, you know, giving a tablet to a cat is like, you know, giving milk to a dog. You know, it's hard work, and you know, I always talk about it because, you know, people with pets, you know, it's and all, and it was for us, and we grew up on having cats and that, but you know, looking after like, dogs and cats is high maintenance, and that's why, you know, I talk about it, because it was part of my life, and it was part of my life where I can laugh at, you know, as much as I struggle in life, you know, you know, it's good to make, you know, a joke out of it, because it then becomes easier to deal with, you know, and helps through the bad times that also happened in my life, you know. And it's not, it's, you know, when people are genuine, when they don't shine over the bad times they have, but they use it to help people or to make people laugh, because I bet there's been other people that have tried to give a tablet to a pet, you know, and it ending in tears, because usually it does, because cats don't, they think, what are you doing? Why are you trying to put that thing in my mouth that I don't want, you know? And they can't come and say, don't give that to me, because you know, I don't want it. And it's either because they've got, like, you know, because if a cat's got a tick, they can get infected. If they've got fleas, my cat, because he was he was so, I mean, it was Persian cats are, you know, full of fur, and you don't put anything black down, because you know, he would sit straight on it. You put anything out on the bed to wear, it was you know, a no-go, because as soon as your back were turned, you'd be sitting on it, you know, covering it in white fur, and then you have to get the sellotape to try and, you know, get rid of the white hair, and then he would, you know, fight with me to, you know, when I tried to get him off, you know, and he'd be like, can you just get off? You know, why have you chosen this entire flat to sit on the clothes I've just put out to wear because I'm going out, you know? But he would, you know. You know, that's life. But, you know, it's, you know, people are genuine when they're not afraid to talk about, you know, areas in their life where, even though it's hard, looking back on that, you know, that's something I can smile at, because we were like Tom and Jerry sometimes, you know, him being Jerry, me being Tom, you know, because he would wind me up when, like, at one point, my mum and dad didn't believe me that he was attacking me. He'd be like, oh, don't be silly, he's a cat. And yes, but he is, as soon as I feed him, he attacks me, you know, he would, and he'd be like a gremlin, you know, if you've seen the gremlins, when they were told not to give them water, because then they turn evil, you know. He was just like that, you know. He was an evil cat at times, and I was target number one. It didn't matter to his eyes, you know. And I used to say, does he do it to you? And you go, no. Well, why does he do it to me for, you know? But now I realise it's because he thought that I was his mum. But at the time, I just thought he just, you know, probably would have thought I was a cat, or something was irritating him, you know, and I would have to chuck him out in the hallway sometimes, because he just was set upon me, you know, and even when I walked away, he would, you know, get under my feet and then scratch me with my back of my legs and then bite me. So, you know, I'm like, get off, you bloody furball, you know. But you know, there's times in my life where, you know, I can talk about and smile, when there's been other times in my life, like when a lot of the houses, the flats were broken into, when, you know, a couple of kids were run over in the estate, you know, they were like the tough times. But being able to, you know, a genuine person, when they are not afraid to talk about, you know, the sad side, but they bring humour into it, because for a lot of people, humour is how they get through life, you know. And it's like when my son was born, you know, even though it was traumatic, I can look back and think, well, actually, you know, some of it was quite funny, actually, because, you know, is that every parent that first met would see their baby that was born premature would instantly put the nappy on the wrong way round, and so it's genuine people are those who're not afraid to talk about the rough with the smooth, and and you can tell people when it's true because they talk from the heart, not from the head, if that makes sense. And you don't have to think about it. People who think about it a lot, that they're rehearsing. Where people who talk like I do, lots of these videos, I don't write a script. It's off the cuff because that's how I find, for me, how makes my videos real, because it's coming from there. It's not coming from there, and it's not just coming from there, and so that's how you can tell genuine people when they are not afraid to show the cracks or talk about the things in their life, even if it is controversial to some people, and it's like, things like child abuse. That went on, and I've been told to, not to talk about it, but I think it's important because people want to see people who are real, who have gone through that the same as them, but they've got on the other side, and you can't stop people from talking about real issues, because that's how things get resolved and helps others from not being in that position, so that's how you can spot people genuine, because they are not afraid to share their real feelings, and that's, and also other thing is, I did a video about, this is going on for too long, so sorry about this being long, but I'm going to just, this will be funny, honestly, this will be it. But I did a video about Harry and Meghan Markle, because a lot of people were asking me to talk about it, so I did. And the thing is, there is always two sides to a story, but you can always tell when somebody is not being truthful by the look in the eye, body language, and the way they say it, and and you can always tell when something's been rehearsed to something that's been sort of done in the moment, by the words they use, by a lot of people write notes, and that's fine, but even like Russell Brown, and I love watching his videos, because he, even though he has notes, he will talk from there, not from there, or from there, he will use that to look at the information that he's talking about, but it's off what he feels, as well as what other people are portraying about things. And I think a lot of COVID and lockdown has helped people to communicate in a way that nobody's communicated before, and I think that's where you've seen the genuine people, because they're the ones that haven't thought, oh well, now I can't do nothing now and it's lockdown. Then people think, right, okay, we're in lockdown, what can we do to still entertain people and make the most of the internet, and they're the people that are, who are genuine, because they're like, right, okay, we're in lockdown, what can we do that can, still change people, help people through COVID, but still, show real life, and people still living. And I think that through lockdown I have learned, who are the genuine people, and who aren't, so anyway, this video's gone for too long. Anyway, many thanks for watching, and I hope that's helped you. I'm sorry if I've rambled on, but thanks for sticking it out if you have, and I will see you again soon.